Hey, it's Yay for Yarn, and today I'm going to show you my new case for super thick ergonomic crochet hooks. So first of all, I want to start off by saying that this video is not sponsored. I did not receive this product for free in exchange for my review. I just bought it on Amazon to see if it would work for what I needed, and it did. So I'm just going to show you kind of why I like it, and maybe this will be something that will work for you as well. So I have found that it is extremely difficult to find cases for like the furls hooks and the super thick ergonomic crochet hooks. So this one will not work for everybody or work for every kind of hook, but I have found this to work pretty good for the hooks that I have. So before I show you the case, this is one of my furls crochet hooks, and these are made with a really thick handle. Now the problem with that handle, as much as I love how thick it is because it's a lot more comfortable to work with, you don't have to close your hand as tight. The problem with this thick of a handle is that you can never find a case that will have a slot big enough for these hooks. And because I have since taken all of my older hooks, my Clover hooks, stripped the rubber handles off of those, and put my own giant handles on them, I don't have any good place to store hooks, at least until I got this, that would protect them and keep them from getting banged up. So I was storing them in a crochet lined pencil cup, but I think this is going to work a lot better. So these hooks are approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. So any bigger than that and you're going to have a hard time fitting them in here. But if you also have some of those really jumbo wooden crochet hooks that are made for like super duper thick yarn, and they're like this big round, then those will fit in here as well, as long as they are at most probably about 3/4 of an inch thick. So here is the case that I've got for the hooks, and it looks like a pretty big bookcase. It's about 11 by 9 by almost 3 in thickness. It has a handle on this side, and this one has a zipper pocket on the outside, which I think is great because nothing can fall out of it, so you could put little notions and stuff in there. And then it zips all the way around the edges. So let's just open this up here and I will show you what it looks like on the inside. Now this thing is actually made for pens and pencils and markers, and it's meant for putting like 2 pens or 3 or 4 pencils in one of these giant elastic slots. But it just so happens that one of these elastic slots is just big enough for one of these super thick hooks. Now these right here on this side are my Clover hooks that I put new handles on with polymer clay, and they work pretty well. If you want a case that's going to like keep them really secure where they never ever move, this is what you want, because these seriously do not move once they're in here. They are a tight fit. Now my handles are pretty thick, but they are a tight fit, and I have found that it is best when you're taking them in and out to kind of like lift them up and twist one way or the other and just gently pull them out, because I don't want to rub my hooks too much on this black fabric, because you can see right here there's a little bit of that stuff rubbed off on my hook, and I also don't want to rub the finish off of my hooks. So even if storing them in here does not keep them in cosmetically perfect condition, now mine are a little thicker than the furls, I don't want to get them broken otherwise. So this one is a little tough to get in and out, but chances are if you're looking for a case for your hooks that are this thick, unless you made them or bought them on Etsy with a polymer clay handle, most likely if you have hooks this thick, they're going to be these kind. So these are actually a lot easier to get in and out, and they don't rub off the black onto the hook. Now this is the only one that I've actually had do that so far. but like I said, I'm not super worried about it because the point of it is for them to be comfortable to work with, and they still do that even if they're not cosmetically perfect. Now, this case, one of my hooks is missing here because I'm using it in a project, but this case is actually made to hold a whole bunch of pens and pencils and markers and whatever. So there are actually slots here, or pages, so to speak, in this case that could hold a lot more hooks. But I don't have enough of the super thick hooks to fill up that many slots. But that's okay, because as long as they are safe and not getting cracked or broken, I'm fine with that. So here's what I have in the other side. These are the Clover Amour hooks that are kind of the bigger ones that are too thick for regular hook slots. This is my other Clover, and then here are my furls. This one actually goes right here, and because these have a slicker finish on them, they fit better in the slots. And I should say here that this elastic is like a stiff one. Like, I'm not super worried about this getting really stretched out. If it stretches out a little bit, that will actually be a good thing because it's kind of tight right now. But this is really nice elastic. It seems to be stitched down pretty well, and I'm assuming there's like some kind of cardboard or plastic in these pages, and then on the outside as well. So it's not just a fabric case, it's hard on the outside. So and I should also mention that these two outer elastic pieces on both this side and this side over here are wider than the rest of them in the middle. As far as the ones in the pages, those are all about the same. So I could go ahead and take all of my older collections of like regular aluminum crochet hooks and stick them in all these slots, and I may eventually do that, but I never actually use those for anything. So it wouldn't really serve a lot of purpose except to just keep them all in one place. So as for taking like something like this to travel with, if your bag will hold this whole thing, then go for it. But it is kind of big. So unless you need all your crochet hooks, you might want something a little smaller if you're just going to take a few. But this one I have found so far works pretty well just to keep them safe while they are at home and not being carried around. I would imagine they would do very well for travel as well. So I use this to keep my hooks protected while I am storing them, so that if for any reason something that were holding my hooks was to be dropped on the floor or on something hard, that they wouldn't likely get broken. So I would feel pretty comfortable. I'm not going to try it, but I wouldn't be super worried about if this case got dropped, worried about any of these breaking, because this is hard-sided. And as you can see on the side, it's made for pencils, and it does have an outer pocket with no zipper. So that is how I am currently storing my crochet hooks, as far as the big chunky handled ones, which is pretty much all I use now. So I have one of these. I bought this one first to see if it would hold crochet hooks, and then I realized how many pens and pencils one of these would hold, and I got a bigger one for pens and pencils, because there are multiple different versions of this type of case on Amazon. So I tried more than one, because I have a lot of pens and pencils and markers as well. So I don't have enough crochet hooks to fill up all of these slots, and that's okay. You can put like scissors and, you know, little things that would hold yarn needles or whatever in here too, or a measuring stick or something, like a little ruler or whatever. So for now I just have these pretty much empty. Here's my loom pick and a couple of other random hooks that I don't really use either. So this is where I'm storing my crochet hooks, but I have too many pens and pencils and markers to hold in a case with this number of slots. So I also bought this one, which normally costs a little bit more than the other one, but it also holds more. So this one has a handle on the top instead of like on the side over here. And one thing that I do like better about the other case is that this one only has a unzippered pocket. All it has is some Velcro here on the outside. It does not have a zippered pocket on the other side. So this one is also obviously made for pens and pencils. It's a different kind of material though. It's more like a synthetic material, whereas this is more of a canvas type of material. So in this one, it opens the other direction. So the green one would open this way. This one opens this way. And I have this one totally full. So I am using this one to hold felt tip pens, gel pens, more gel pens, more gel pens, colored pencils, and etc. And then some brush pens. And I have this one crammed as full as it's going to get. And it is doing a very good job of holding all of my pens and pencils and keeping them organized. So I know exactly which page the different colors are on because I organize them by color. And I don't really have to worry about digging through a giant jar of gel pens or whatever to find the one I need. So if you do gel pens or colored pencils or whatever, this is also really good for that because this is what it's made for. But I actually bought both of these and then decided to use the green one for my hooks because this one has too many slots for it to be feasible to put hooks in this because I don't have that many hooks compared to how many slots are in this, and I do have that many pencils and pens. So I like this one very much as well, but I am personally using the other one for crochet hooks. Now you will notice that sometimes this big one gets caught on the pages inside when you're trying to zip it shut, so you just have to untuck the edge. But anyway, I like this one better for pens and pencils, and this one better for crochet hooks, although I would prefer that this one would have had a zipper pocket on the outside as well. So if you have enough hooks to fill up this whole thing, that would be quite a collection, but if you do, then this one has a lot of slots in it. I should probably just tell you how many in numbers. So in the green case, this one has 9 slots on each page. So here's 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54 of these giant elastic slots total. If you are doing smaller hooks with these, you can fit more than one in a slot. But this one has 54 slots, and the other one has more pages in it. So this one actually holds a lot more number of things. It's just I don't have this many hooks. Now these in this case actually have 8 slots per page. So in this one we have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, and then 64 slots total. So this one has more slots in it than I will ever need for crochet hooks. Although I think I have seen one other person use these for crochet hooks, and they put like a sleeve over this whole one of these pages, and then they put enamel pins on it and yarn needles poked through it and etc. So if you have enough stuff to fill one of these bigger ones, the bigger ones are very nice as well. This one is about, when it's full of pens and pencils, it's about 4 inches thick. So also keep in mind, if you're doing only really thick hooks, you have to make sure that you don't do too many, because I wouldn't want these to be sticking out so far on top of the other ones that they would have a hard time letting the case close. So I think these are a great option if you have some of the giant ergonomic hooks, because they have slots big enough to hold them. And I'm actually kind of hoping that over time the elastic slots in my green case will stretch a little bit, because I think it will be a little easier to get them in and out, especially these, because they're not slippery on the outside. These Furls hooks, and even this wooden one over here that has a glossy finish, these are really easy to get in and out because they are slick. So even though you can get them in and out easier, it's still a very secure hold, and I don't feel like that the stitching in between is gonna like come out really quickly. I mean, it might eventually come out, but so far none of them are getting worn or coming out as far as the stitching in between the elastic. So these are actually, I would say, pretty well made. I don't know exactly how much the current prices of these are on Amazon, but I will put the links in the description box below, and the price will show up once you click the link, and it will show you which colors they have and stuff, because sometimes different colors are cheaper. So this is how I have been storing my crochet hooks. It has worked very well for me since I got these cases. And if you use any kind of really thick ergonomic hooks, then this might be something that would work well for you. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know how you store your super thick crochet hooks in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, making sure you click the little bell next to the subscribe button to be notified of new videos. Thanks for watching.